having researched this topic prior to this conference as a part of Balkans Insights media package, we asked lots of journalists what sort of challenges they are facing. And it seems like things have gotten worse in the last year or two since the last SpeakUp conference, in a sense that journalists are speaking of a growing political and commercial pressure they are getting in the environments that they work. Those are the two most basically biggest challenges for media in the Balkans. Political, in that sense that basically political parties are putting way too much pressure on the media, and this in new media as well. And commercially, because they are conditioning the advertisement funding with basically favorable reporting.
How to overcome? Who can be agent of change? Is it via the civil society organizations? So do you think we can contribute to the change? How we can, or EU outside intervention, how we will change this?
Well, certainly since we are here in Brussels, that was the focus of this attention. How can the EU help use that leverage that they have in negotiating access of all the Balkan countries to the EU, convincing them that freedom of speech is a key principle. I put the question today in the panel whether EU first has that leverage, or whether does it want to use that leverage. We find sometimes for EU, like in Kosovo, that good neighborly relationships are more important to them. For example, getting Kosovo to sign an agreement with Serbia and getting these two countries to reconcile in some form. This is more important for the EU, not only more important, but that they are willing to overshadow and to overlook everything else, or most other principles and standards that these countries have to fulfill. So I'm not sure, we were not convinced. Most of the journalists who spoke here, including Turkey, and don't forget, Turkey is a key country on freedom of speech, were not convinced that the EU is making this requirement seriously enough to our governments in order for us to be fit to join the EU.
Who can press then governments and these centers of power, powerful economic and political groups, who can force them to stay away of media?
Well, I think EU is a good mechanism to do that. They can do it if they are serious about it. Not if they decide to close one eye, because our countries do well in some directions but not in others. I think the international institutions, including local civil society and international civil society, as well as basically international bodies, different EU institutions, they could have an impact on our leadership if they press on this subject for a long time.
So I come from Slovenia. We are already EU member. Do you think the membership or EU can really serve as the point when things will be okay? You know?
Not only membership, because membership is way too far for a lot of our countries. We're not even in accession talks. Today, over lunch, Commissioner Füle told us, look, we don't even have a mechanism officially to talk to countries which are not even in an accession process, which are Serbia, Albania, Kosovo and Bosnia. So therefore, they don't have that mechanism, but our leaders want to impress Europe in many other fields. They want to show them that we are fit. For example, Kosovo leadership wants to show Europe that we should not be the only last country not to have visa liberalization schemes, because Kosovo passport holders are still not allowed to travel in Europe without visas. If they want to impress Europe with this, they've got to fit in not just usual standards which have to do with Ministry of Interior, passport documentation, security of borders, but they will actually, I would look forward that that leadership in the Balkans is also asked to live up to the freedom of speech standard.
Is it the problems we are tackling are very often most concentrated in big media and the problems with big media owners and so on? Is it possible to step away from this and to engage as journalists and organize open media, alternative media, you know, and control the process of media production and keep politicians away from that? Is it illusion or it is possible?
It is possible to do that, and people are doing that. If you saw recently, our information from what's happening in Turkey has largely been from tweets. There's been from international media cameras, but also from basically YouTube smartphone videos. That's where I found out what was the behavior of Turkish police when I saw them while Erdogan was saying that it was the thieves and vagabonds were the protesters in the evening. I go to YouTube and I saw how one Turkish citizen had filmed police officers breaking through a bank machine. Police officers, not the protesters. So that's how I got information. I didn't get it through some big media or some Turkish TV channel. And it was mentioned how during the protest the Turkish TV showed penguin documentaries. It was very interesting. So one panelist together with me stood up with a penguin t-shirt in protest. So people will find ways and ways to get that information out there. But my question is, should it be so difficult? Should the media as well go on the street? Should we have a media spring in order to issue a simple information? Why should it be so difficult? Why should it be so struggling to do this? And don't forget, what I mentioned in my panel was also that even if we go to new media, what's happening now in Kosovo is that the government is seeing that most audiences go to new media. They're buying some new media portals that are very watched. Not directly the government, but people linked with the political elite. So you find some portals being mouthpieces of governments and attacking certain critics that are too critical to the government. So don't forget, they are leapfrogging us. As we are doing this conference on freedom of speech, I spoke also about schemes and plans that political and economical elites are making to influence media, to spin them in their direction, including buying my colleagues, basically literally putting them on salaries for them to become spin doctors, informal or formal spin doctors and propagandists. The way to do it is to just stand your back straight, speak up and stand up for your right, and not accept to be bought and turned into a PR machine.